Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So, brand new Beretta 92X. I just did a full review on her. Ran great, no issues. Awesome upgrades from Beretta for the 92 series, but she has about 1,000 rounds through her, so it's time for a good cleaning. So let's take her back to the table, show you guys how to clean her up nice. So let's talk about what you'll need to clean your Beretta 92X. So the first thing you will need, of course, is a Beretta 92X. Now, of course, this cleaning can work with any of the 92 series, so keep that in mind, but this is for the 92X. So going kind of left to right here, talking about what you may need, as well as some of the kind of options you can choose from. So you may want to use gloves, especially using different kind of chemicals, depending on what kind of cleaning agent you're using. Gloves are always a good thing to have. You may want to pick up some of these tipped-in picks right here to kind of get into all the crevices, clean out all that dirt and grime. Use these patches here to kind of get in there. Toothbrush, always good for scrubbing. You could easily kind of rinse it off and just keep using it. But it's good to kind of get all the grime in there, especially if there's some kind of buildup. You can use this before having to waste a bunch of patches, kind of break it up a little bit. 9mm wire brush. All right, so these are little brass brushes here. It won't mess up your barrel. Get these or the nylon ones, they work great. Little patch pull through and the handgun rod assembly. All right, so this is what you use to kind of pull through. They also make little string pull throughs as well as full kits you can buy. All this stuff, I'll try to put links down below for you guys. You can get a lot of it on Amazon. Now going up here to the cleaning agent, I'm going to choose CLP today. I've been using it a lot for a long time on all my handguns. I've never had a problem. CLP is kind of my go-to, but it's break-free CLP, and you can get it right on Amazon in large containers. Again, I'll put the link down below for those, and you can get these little samples and kind of keep refilling them. Or if you want, you can buy these kind of little cheap dollar squirt bottles here to kind of keep filling up with CLP and keep using them. And lastly, you'll need some patches. All right, so these are actually designed for handguns. You can buy these in bulk. You know, they work really well, little cotton patches. But you can also cut up old t-shirts, use those, just kind of clean out the barrel. It just has to be something small enough that can fit through the barrel and use with a push rod without getting jammed up in there. So coincidentally, this Beretta is sitting on this tech mat right here. This kind of helps protect any surface that you're working on from any of the oils and stuff you're using to clean your gun, and kind of helps help pad the surface and helps keep everything kind of in one place and all in one area, so it's easy to clean up. But this I've had for many years, and you can kind of see some of the grime on there, but it's held up great, honestly. Just a little bit of fraying on the edges maybe, but nothing too bad. So first and foremost, all right, very first thing you want to do, drop your mag, make sure there's nothing in there. Check the chamber. Nothing in there. All right. Now take down. All right. You'll see there's a button on the side right here. Push that in. Pull this lever down. And you'll see the slide just kind of falls right off. All right. Guide rod assembly with the spring comes out like that, and you have your barrel assembly right there. All right, so you can see this thing has just under 1,000 rounds through her now, and she is nice and gunked up and ready for a good cleaning. So the first thing I like to do is actually go ahead and grab your little toothbrush here, squirt a little bit of CLP on there, and I'm just going to do an initial kind of wipe down, little scrub. It's not going to do much in terms of actually cleaning off the grime, but it's going to get a good scrub on there. All right, you can kind of wipe on the outside if you want a little bit too. All right, and what's important here is your firing pin channel is underneath right here. You'll see your firing pins right there. When you're scrubbing or applying any kind of cotton patches with oil on it, you want to make sure you're scrubbing with the firing pin channel facing down like so. That way nothing kind of falls in back there. And same when you're going on this end here. You don't want anything to kind of fall in there. Try to keep that as clean as possible. And of course, you can always disassemble this even more and clean that up. All right, you can have some of this. I know there's some grime in there. All right, and same thing over here. This part right here on the barrel gets really dirty. All right, you can see that. So what I'm gonna do, just do a quick scrub. All right, just kind of clean it up a little bit. And the frame itself, again, really dirty. Just kind of loosen all this up, especially in the rails there. All right, all these pieces back here. You can go down here a little bit, clean this up. All right. And you can hit the outside again with clean patches when we're done, so don't worry too much about that. All right, so you can take your pick Now we'll go ahead, grab a fresh patch here, and we'll kind of start with the frame. All right, so you can go ahead and get in these grooves. All right, you can see how dirty they are. Sometimes you can just kind of go with your finger. All right, but if you really want to get in there, you can kind of use this plastic pick to really get in all the nooks and crannies, and it really does help with maybe something like a hammer-fired gun like this to kind of get down in there behind the hammer and get down in all of these little crevices here. And with firearm cleaning, it really is up to the user on how deep of a clean they want to do to the firearm itself. You can do a quick spot clean, or you can do a really deep clean. Spend a lot of time on this, but typically one gun should take you about maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes. All right, so over here, again, use the back of that pick there. Kind of clean all that. There you go. Again, it's a little bit easier than using your fingers in there. Just kind of scrub with that pick. There you go. Really helps kind of clean it up. And you can hit the outside right now if you want. Just kind of clean up any residue. There's usually a lot of residue up here around where the barrel is, and up here where the guide rod is. There you go. It's looking better already. All right, so now that you kind of hit it with the pick a little bit, I tend to go over all this with a little bit of oil on there, because you're going to dry all this up when you're done. So I hit the whole thing with a little bit of oil, just my hands here. All right. And then, once I feel like I've ran through everything, clean up here. And actually one thing I forgot to show you guys is the extractor is right there. And it's easy to use this pick to get underneath that extractor. Give it a good little cleaning. You can see that right there. Gets pretty dirty under there. All right, but now that you had a bunch of oil on here, and of course in the oil on your fingers as well, go ahead, just kind of wipe her down with a couple of dry patches there. You're gonna lubricate up the firearm for storage and everything, and for firing at the range the next time in a minute anyways. And use your fingernails, kind of get in some places you might have missed. Try to get that face where that firing pin is cleaned up nicely. I think one more will do it and we'll be done with the slide. So it doesn't take too much really. You don't need a lot of supplies to do this cleaning. You can buy these whole kits online. They come with a lot of it, and a lot of them come with some of these actual patches. And if you want to do some of the cosmetic cleaning, you'll see there's like dirt sometimes and the serrations on the slide and things like that. You can clean those up, get in there. All right, so that's good. Switch over to the spring here. This one still has a little bit of life left into it on the patch here. So for the spring, I tend to actually just hold it and run it through. Usually doesn't have to be too super clean or anything. But if you wrap it up, spin it the right way, get a nice little oil coat on there, cleaned up quite a bit. Same with the guide rod, whether you have this polymer one or you upgrade to the steel one. You can go ahead, clean it up. It helps. It's not a crucial part, but it does help. You can put this assembly back together. All right, move these out of the way. Get a fresh patch. A little bit of oil on there. And now let's tackle this barrel. So the barrel. All right, just go ahead, hit the outside a little bit. Go ahead, hit the end there a little bit. There you go. All shining up nice and new already. All right, sometimes the lockup gets a little stiff in there as well. So I'll just hit it. Of course, my glove is falling apart there. You can go ahead, push your pick through here if you'd like. You already kind of put a bunch of oil on here, just scrubbing her down with that toothbrush, so you don't really have to use much more oil on the outside. You'll use some fresh oil to get the inside of the barrel clean, but there you go. It's good to kind of get cleaned up in there. It doesn't get too much gunk in there, but you never know. So now the inside of the barrel, I tend to start with this brush right here. All right. Back to front. Same way the bullet goes. All right, do a quick, just kind of scrub through. And if you want, you can add a little bit of oil to this brush. Can't hurt. You'll be running a bunch of patches through here. But it's going to help break it up a little bit. All right, now what I tend to do, take a patch, wrap it around, squirt a good amount of oil on there, and run her through. And you'll see the lines that come out. It gets a really good deep clean on all the rifling lines in the barrel. And you can probably use this a couple of times, which is good. I'm about to ditch these gloves. Like I said, they're optional. Personal preference. How you feel about oil and grease and stuff on your hands. Yeah, let me ditch the gloves real quick. Alright, so we ran a couple of patches through there. Let's go one more, I think. Again, wrap her around the brush. A little bit of oil. Nice and tight around there. And a lot of these handles spin. So if you hold the handle and push, it'll spin and kind of ride along with the rifling, which is nice. Alright, so I'll probably do maybe one more time. It's for good measure. It's pretty clean already, especially when you're going to run a couple more patches through with that pull through. Alright. So now, take your little pull through here. And depending on how thick of a patch you have, or if you're using a cut up t-shirt, or yeah, really depending on how you want to run this. Alright, you can go ahead and push it through. Alright. And it's not going to get as deep, but it's going to get a nice little layer of oil inside the barrel. And it is spinning slowly with the rifling. Alright, and you don't have to really clean it that much. I mean, the barrel is going to be dirty, but it's more important to get a good scrub. You can see the last one I did was, you know, kind of going away there a little bit with the grime in there. So I tend to do a thin film of oil at the end, like so. And of course you can go ahead and wipe this down again if you'd like. You don't need a lot of oil left over. And I think we're in pretty good shape. It looks really good. Alright, so the frame, again, you can wipe down as much as you want. Alright, you already kind of hit it, but we'll hit it one more time. Kind of really clean this up. Get a fresh patch. A little bit of oil on there. You can hit the outside if you want to just kind of clean it up a little bit. Got any dirt or grime on there, can't hurt. Clean it up. Get in all the crevices again. And then where the magazine is, for the magazine well here, it's up to you how clean you want it. You can get in there with a brush. You can go from the bottom here, the mag well, go up and down a little bit on the sides. Of course, the grip on this particular firearm is most of that part of the frame right there is the grip. But the front and back are all part of the frame. Go ahead, clean it out a little bit. Put a little bit more oil on there. Again, it depends on how clean you want it. Clean the back strap a little bit, clean this up. This part's kind of important. Helps kind of feed the rounds right there. You can see it kind of goes along with the bottom of that barrel right there. So pay a little bit of attention to that. Alright, I think we're about done here. It's not too bad. Cleans up really easily. Oh, don't hit those grips because they'll stick all the fibers to it. Clean the trigger if you want a little bit. The assembly with the trigger is down in there. You're welcome to take a pick, kind of clean it up just a little bit. Don't pry it too much. Usually it doesn't get too gritty down there, but you also don't want to go after it pretty hard and mess up anything. But that's what these little polymer picks are for. And again, it's good to clean it up a little bit. All right, I think we're good here. So, last step. All right, we're going to put it back together, and the very last step is going to be lubricating it where it needs to be lubricated. So that's when this little dropper comes into really nice handy right here. So really, it's all about where the firearm wears the most. All right, so you're talking about the slide where it runs along the frame. So what I typically do, put just a little drop all along there. And of course, if you have any extra oil beyond that, and you don't want to have oil all over the handgun, you can go ahead, wipe it all down, but it's up to you. But about 6 drops here are on the frame. All right, see that? Pretty easy, right? Looking on here, you can see a couple of points that kind of show some wear. Right along here, a little thin little strip there of oil. Right here, it's just all normal wear. You can put a little bit up here. There you go. On the barrel, you usually wear right up top, a little drop. Right here, a little drop, very, very slight little drops on there. Maybe one, a little bit more right there. And that is it, guys. All right, and then make sure that this little block stays down. Spring goes back in. All right, this little guide rod ledge that this sits on, make sure it's all the way down and that it is straight. If it's not straight, it's not going to go back on the frame very easily. Go ahead, grab up here, flip the lever, let go, test for functionality. And like I said before, depending on if you want to have this extra oil on here or not, it does help protect. A lot of people actually just go ahead and take the oil from their hands, wipe down the handgun. You won't see it by the next morning, it'll all be gone. It kind of just goes away, but has a nice little coating to it when it does that. But that's just kind of leftover residue. But you are all lubed up and ready to go for your next range trip. It's best to do concealed carry firearms, which is a little bit big for, but if you do concealed carry it, every time you shoot it, clean it. It's a good maintenance technique. So, well, that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all about cleaning your Beretta 92X or any of the 92 series, hit them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. And as always, subscribe to the channel, like this video. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook for all the latest and greatest deals on the internet, and I'll see you guys in the next review.